Okay.
Hello, listener and viewer. In our today's interview, I'll be an anchor hosting two sets of GPMS co-creator and representative from Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Iboro, your host. Before we go into the interview proper, we will begin with the introduction first. In our midst, we have a woman of virtue, substance, she's God-fearing, by name Mrs. Renata Duma. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Iboro. Thank you very much, Brother Rick. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to the beautiful ones in Nigeria and wherever else you may be listening. I am Renata Duma. I have been a GPMS a member for some years and a guardian for some time now, assisting with several aspects of GPMS. And I have been part of GPMS from the moment that I heard Brother Rick speak and express his divine mission. And from that moment, I knew in my heart and in my soul that being alongside him and the others who are divinely guided to co-create GPMS with Father Creator, that it was my calling as well. And I am divinely grateful and eternally grateful for that.
You're welcome, my sister. I have seen a lot of work on the GPMS website recently. So many features have been added to the website. Please, can you tell us your contribution to all of that?
Certainly. Yes, it came up divinely a few months ago that we would create a community website that would work in tandem with the original GPMS website, which is will always remain. It is the website where there is the most information about GPMS, as well as the platform for signing up with GPMS and for counting the people who sign up with GPMS. The community website is gpmscommunity.com. The GPMS proper website is gpms.world, WORLD. So on the community website, there are lots of features that are being developed, and as time permits, and the um, as the addition of people who come on board to assist. Sister Beatrice has been assisting already. As they come along, and so we will be building out more and more features on the community website. But the point of it is to be a hub for all GPMS members to come together and to communicate with one another, to share and to co-create the world that we envision in our hearts, that we want to create as per the divine mandate of GPMS.
That was awesome. And when I go to the website, specifically the community aspect of it, I've seen so many features added. And when I click, most of the information there, most of the information there did not pop up. Can you tell us when those information will be ready for the world to see?
there is a lot of information that will be coming forward as divinely timed, and as Brother Rick and I are able to bring it forward. A lot of it is uh, a lot of it is very new and groundbreaking information that Brother Rick is bringing forward. A lot of which he brought forward in a recent interview we did. He just started speaking about a few things that are new perspectives and understanding of aspects of life on Earth that we don't have an explanation for yet. So, as time permits, and as the possibility permits, we will be uploading more and more of this information as we're able to. So, stay tuned. It will come very soon, God willing.
That's good of you. You're welcome. We go to Mr. Joas. Mr. You've been one of the Gpms co-creators. You're a man after God's heart. You've been working tirelessly to make this community what it is today. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I am Rick Jewers, and you can say the founding father of GPMS, to the respect that I am the middleman liaison between God, Prime Creator, and all of the beautiful souls upon earth. So I've been given the divine task to write up the new world for humanity and to be one of the guarantees, one of the guardians of that. What I need to say, I'm not the only one. Sister Renata, and of course, you, Brother Iboro, and many other brothers and sisters are all part of this at taking it forward for the world. And as we grow, many more brothers and sisters will be coming standing shoulder to shoulder with us. What I need to say is GPMS.world is the most unprecedented, serious movement ever upon earth to take humanity into a civilized state in the least. At this present time, I do not need to go into detail, but humanity is living in a savage world. And this has come to an end because GPMS.world is now on the planet being populated and ratified into full force, effect, and law. GPMS.world is God's will, meaning it will be done. There is nothing that can contest nor oppose, diminish, negotiate, nor compromise it. It is absolute. It is also the promise that has been written for humanity throughout antiquity in all major beliefs, faiths, and prophecy. So it cannot be denounced at all to what it is. In this great time, we continue to go forward, populating it. Each one is given a choice while they are still here on planet Earth to what system, what reality they wish to live in, a heaven on earth or this present hell. And with that, it becomes, if you will, a no brainer choice as to what the people are choosing and will choose. So it is inevitable because of this one respect as well. So, having said that, yes, I am one guardian of many of GPMS.world, and as we go forward, you will see many more. As for our website, what Sister Renata was explaining It's forever evolving and being populated not only with the voices of every child, woman, and man that wants a free and abundant world. It is also being populated with the resources as well, and the access to these resources as we compile and gather the majority voice worldwide. So at the same time as we are collecting the voice, organically we are creating the new world. So what this means, even before we have the full majority voice, many things are going to be created as a result. And to the wayside goes old government policies and suppressions that cannot contend with the force of the majority of the people. So it needs to be understood that the people are the power, are the actual majority. We would not be taking anything forward with this if it was not divinely guaranteed. It would be a fool's mission, if you will, to attempt this. However, God is omnipotent, and there is no doubt with what this is. So I'll stop there. I can ramble on and for hours, but that's enough for now. What's your next question?
That was an introduction. So we go into the interview proper. Thanks for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we go into the interview proper. The first question goes to you, Big Sister Renata Duma. They said behind every successful man, there must be a woman. Big Sister, you've been a backbone supporting GPMS from the onset. You, co-creator, Mr. Lee Modway, and Mr. Duas have been financially supporting our nomadic mission here in Nigeria, in which I was able to receive funds, to buy funds, and go to numerous places within and outside my local government, talking to the masses and bringing them to the limelight of knowing what GPMS, as that God's given the universal financial system is all about. Apart from all this, can you in brief enumerate your other roles that you have been actively involved in with GPMS? Big sister, are you there?
Sorry, I muted myself. Thank you, Iboro. The truth is, I am just one of many women, if you want to say, are the backbone of GPMS. I'm not sure that it's a designation that's just given to the women. I think every one of us is the backbone of GPMS, because it is a divine mission, and each one of us standing up for our rights globally, to fight for our sovereignty and our freedom, is the backbone of GPMS. And we are very touched and proud of you, Iboro, for what you have chosen to do and for your divine mission alongside of GPMS. So thank you. And the spotlight really should be on you here, because you're the hero of the day. You're the one that picked up the mantle for Nigeria and decided to take that forward and run with it. And we are just here to support you in that in any way that we possibly can. In terms of what other things that I do for GPMS, the odd interview here and there, the website, of course, some energy work, working with ones one-on-one as well, to assist them in this great time of transition, and pretty much anything else I'm divinely guided, or I am asked to do divinely by through Brother Rick or Brother Lee. So there you go. Thank you.
Thanks a million for your support. You've been supporting us financially and all the way around. And me and my sister, we work 247 to make GPMS a success in Nigeria.
If I may take this opportunity, I'd like to divinely add something in here. I wish to make it very, very clear that GPMS is an equality instrument for the new world. And what this means also is that there will not be any patriarch dominant society, nor will it be any matriarch dominant society. It is both coming together, working together equally. GPMS is an equal society, is what we are creating. So I need to make that clear, meaning that we stand shoulder to shoulder with our brothers and our sisters. There is no one above another. We are all responsible human souls, if you will, taking this forward and doing what is right. We do not diminish the opposite sex. We are all one with this. I also further wish to make it very clear that GPMS itself is not a funding instrument until we have the majority voice worldwide. Yes, there are some goodwill ventures and gestures that are taken from um, GPMS members when they wish to assist certain individuals. But what I wish to say, that is very limited, and it does come from the GPMS individual members in their hearts, themselves. So there is no widespread funding with GPMS until we have the majority voice. Then everyone is fully funded beyond what they ever believed could happen. So I need to make this very clear. And with GPMS, we are all volunteers. There is no paid positions in this, if you will. So there are, let's say, financially secure humanitarians or philanthropists to some degree that will assist with GPMS to take it forward and to get it into the awareness of others. However, again, I always come back to say that this is all volunteer work and it depends upon the individual GPMS member themselves if they wish to fundraise for a venture that is in alignment with taking GPMS forward. But that becomes the individual's decision with it. The main frame and integrity of GPMS itself is focused on gathering the worldwide voice as soon as possible. And that is the mainstay of GPMS.world. We know all of the dire desolate circumstances that are out there. However, GPMS does not become focused on these. If it was, we would lose the focus and the attention, and humanity would never be free. Because the actual truth is that 90% of the population upon Earth is in some form of lack or poverty, in the least what you would call from an economic place financial insecurity, which means they are literally living day to day to survive. And also with this, what I need to say, everyone worldwide needs to know they're at the mercy of who owns and controls the internet. And the reason for this, most of the money worldwide is now digital and is controlled by whoever controls the internet, which is typically the governments and the banks worldwide, which are the elite. So everyone needs to know also they are at the mercy of who controls that public infrastructure. And I need to say GPMS lawfully and technically, upon achieving the majority voice worldwide, takes the incontestable lawful ownership of this public infrastructure to do what is right. So it includes the internet worldwide and the financial distribution system to disseminate, to disperse the funds to every man, woman, and child worldwide. And again, I do not need to say to the fullest extent that what has been occurring on earth was a nefarious intent with enslavement. For it's very simple what GPMS is doing, meaning that if all present leaders worldwide today were competent, they would have done what GPMS is doing. However, it is known by God what they were doing and what they are. So what we do is we overpower them with God and we just create the replacement system without getting into a lot of detail with it. And this is a very serious thing with GPMS. And as I said, every child, woman, and man should be consenting to this as soon as possible. Every day that we wait, more and more children are dying, and the numbers are increasing daily. But thank you. Go ahead.
Thanks for your contribution. That was lovely. This question goes to you, big sister Renata. As a woman who has been actively involved in rescuing humanity on planet Earth, this is to further prove that women should not only be the smoke runner of our families, but contribute to the well-being of our community. Big sister, what message of support do you have to other women in the new world that is yet to come?
Thank you, brother. Uh, Again, let's remember the words of Brother Rick just now. And GPMS is all inclusive. And the worldview and the dream that we have, the divine dream for the world, is a place where everyone is equal. We all stand shoulder to shoulder, brother and sister, all together. The roles of women have always been different on the planet because we are the child bearers. So we have a different kind of responsibility towards humanity, and we feel a different kind of responsibility towards humanity. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse, greater or smaller than what a father feels. The divine masculine, when they come forward, is a marvelous thing to behold. And so my wish for all of us is that we bring forward our divinity, our strength, our memory of who we truly are as children of one infinite creator. And when we come together in our intention and with the intention to fulfill this divine mandate, it is unstoppable, as Brother Rick said, but it has to come from our hearts. It has to be in full conviction with our full energy. So, to everyone out there listening to these words, please step into your hearts. Step into the fullness of who you truly are. Remember who you truly are. You are not what they tell you you are. You are a child of God. And together, as one family, men, women, and children, with one cohesive intention and thought, we can turn this hell into paradise. Thank you.
That was great. No wonder they said, who run the world? It is women that runs the world because they contribute immensely for the betterment of our communities. They bear the child, they bear children, raise them well for the betterment of the entire world. That was good of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Vicky. Now, the next question goes to Mr. Rick Jones. In your several write-ups and messages in and outside social media, you have been analyzing in detail how God spoke to you, asking you to go about rescuing humanity on planet Earth using GPMS as that divine financial tool. Can you tell us what GPMS is all about? Because a lot of people here in Nigeria have been hearing of it as an acronym, meaning Global People's Monetary System. Can you explain to a layman what it entails and aiming at achieving? Big brother, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Brother Iboro. Yeah, so quite simply, GPMS stands for the Global People's Monetary System. And it's very important that it was named this way. Had it been Rick, I would have chosen the Universal People's System, if you will. However, Father insisted on global for this time period for very good reason. And one of the reasons if our brothers and sisters in Nigeria are oblivious to what you would call the global elitists and the global plan, there had to be the people's global initiative, if you will, that showed that the global people are the 99%, while the global elitists were less than 1%, really less than decimal 5%. So this also makes a huge statement that this is the people's initiative to do what is right upon earth. And to keep it in simple layman's terms, most adults, if not all, know what a simple voting system is. And they know that a majority vote wins. So whatever the majority votes for, they win that. In this case, this is worldwide, a vote worldwide. So once the majority of the people vote for this new free and abundant system, we have it. It's in reality. So as we go forward with this, for the first time ever, a new world in a new system is being ratified by counting the votes until we get to the majority. The voting process of GPMS, which is the consent, is a cumulative vote, meaning there is no set time on it. We just keep gathering and gathering the votes worldwide until we have the majority. And then, because we have the majority, the full GPMS is implemented into full law because it's supported by the people and the best interests of humanity. So therefore, the old system, the current system, what you have now, becomes obsolete. So this is why we say it's inevitable. Now, the new system is a temporary monetary system, and it's only temporary because what occurs when everybody is in community worldwide and sharing all of the abundant resources, there is no more a requirement for a medium of exchange like money, because everyone is working worldwide together to advance humanity even further. So, what occurs with this during the second phase of implementation, it is can be actually considered a buyout of the old system, just buying it out completely to erase all debt worldwide, to wipe the slate clean and start the new. So, this is what it does. What needs to be realized, there is the existing accepted wealth worldwide right now. And with this, for the lawful ones that have accumulated a home that they own, it is rightfully theirs. So, through the monetary and valuation process, they keep everything that they already got that they have accumulated lawfully. And on top of everything they already have, they get even more money and unlimited access to all resources worldwide. So, if we look at Nigeria as an example, if you have an impoverished village there, what GPMS does for it instantly is give every individual of that village an approximate equivalent to 20,000 US dollars instantly, plus access to all of the outside resources free for whatever they wish to build with their community. You need a well, a drill rig comes in, drills a well free of charge. You need seeds to grow crops, they all come in. You have access to these resources to self sustain yourself in your village as well. Also, having said that, in your village in Nigeria, someone may want to just travel around the world and go and assist somewhere else. They are free to do that, and they don't need money to do it. For example, we own all of the airlines, so you don't need to pay yourself or you are an owner of an airline to go somewhere. It is free. It is free travel. And one of the reasons why with and I know you asked in layman's terms, but one of the reasons why all of these things become free, like your electric, your health care, your fuel you're using in your vehicles, uh, the reason why all these things become free is because with the majority vote, what you are doing is ratifying the lawful shareholder ownership of all of these public infrastructures worldwide. Everyone needs to understand that everyone, and even your grandparents and generations before, all contribute to building what is here now. Everyone, including a 1 week old child that is registered now into a government or a country, the moment they are registered, they become a bona fide shareholder, not only in that country's existing debt, but in all of the assets of that country. But it doesn't stop there because the country is involved in worldwide trade. So, what this also means is that child is a shareholder in whatever worldwide trade that there is, to again, to keep this as simple. So, what it is a bona fide shareholder status for every child. And this is the reason why every child's consent and vote counts the same as an adult's in GPMS.world because they are a bona fide shareholder. It was the illusion of kings and queens and monarchs that they were better than you. but they're not. Each one needs to look at, they are in a humanoid body. They are the same as you. There is no difference. But what they did, they made it look like they owned all of the riches. And they pulled the illusion upon humanity that gold or silver was more precious and valuable than the individual, which is the lie, it's the deception. And that is being exposed and revealed at this time. Also, with Gaia, with Earth herself, no one has a valid claim to the land. The Earth herself did not ever give anyone a valid purchase agreement. There is only claims upon the land. And with this, it cannot be claimed by one nation, one people, because everyone is a shareholder of Earth. So these claims by nations and countries are invalid. They are null and void. They cannot exist. There was never an original purchase agreement. The earth did not give you a purchase agreement saying, I'll sell a piece of me to you. No, that never occurred. So I might be getting a little bit off track with things, but simply with layman's terms, this is a worldwide vote. You now have a chance to choose. Do you want to exist in this monotonous, struggling to survive world? Or do you want to choose a new world where you are free and abundant? So it's a simple choice. What do you choose? If you choose that you would like this new world, then consent for it. Do you need to know all the details? No, you don't, because we would not be given this to you if we did not know how everything works and had all of the mechanics of it. It would be the most foolish thing ever for anyone to do. So, no, we are asking the people worldwide, do you want this new world? We know how to do it fully and exactly. All we're asking you, if you want this new world, to support it and vote through your consent, and we will do it. And it's all inclusive for everyone. When anyone looks at the GPMS website and go to that comparison page, again, it becomes a no-brainer, even for children that are not fully educated yet. We have children in GPMS that have consented through their own accord as young as 7 years old. So they knew they want this new world. So where a 7-year-old uneducated child knows that they want this new world, it should be even more easier for an adult. So again, it becomes the no-brainer choice. So you can have it as a poll. Do they want the new world? Then keep it simple. Then say yes. Just give us the support so we get the new world created. And look at what the new world is. Look in the comparison page on gpms.world. And what I need to say, anyone would be the most foolish to not want it. So it's that simple. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for that explanation. Now we go over to you, big sister, Renata. Now we've seen on the website that a simple majority of 2.6 or thereabout, if they are able to give their consent, and GPMS will come to exist. Now, my question is, these 2.6 billion people in the world, if peradventure we get that number in no matter of time, and GPMS come to exist, will all the benefits Mr. Viewers have mentioned will be limited to the 2.6 billion or to more than 8 billion people that we have in the world. Will those who have not given their consent, will they also get to benefit from GPMS as that God's given financial system? Big sister, are you with us?
If I may,
I'm going to have to defer
yeah,
to
there's
Brother Rick.
Renata.
Sorry.
Just before you begin to answer that,
Oh, I just wanted you
or
to
go ahead, Renata. All right,
I just wanted to say
all
that
right,
I don't feel like I'm equipped to answer that properly. I'm just going to defer that question to Brother Rick.
Okay. The big
Yeah,
brother, can
thank you
you?
so much. All right. Here is what occurs. You mentioned some figures that I have mentioned in the past. However, it needs to be understand what's attached to those numbers when I mention them. One number that I mentioned, which is significant, is 1.6 billion. Now, what occurs when GPMS has 1.6 billion signatures, or not signatures, consents? What occurs is that then GPMS becomes the most powerful universal nation unity of people upon earth, because it at that point it has just outweighed the population of India, and it also with China. India is now the biggest, most populous country, the biggest nation of people in the world. What this does, it puts the universal nation of GPMS in a very powerful position worldwide, and a dominant position as well, because the universal nation of GPMS has all of the solutions for every problem that humanity could ever imagine. And again, very quickly from this number going forward to do 2.6 up to 4 billion, up to 6 billion, it's a flashpoint. So I only use these incremental numbers to show ones of how powerful the people are united. And when these numbers are reached, and really and truly, even right now, we could flash point through all of those numbers with GPMS going viral at any moment. When we look at Nigeria, if you will, currently it has 234 million people. It's the sixth most populous country upon the earth. Nigeria is the most populous country of Africa. Nigeria itself can move GPMS forward very quickly for the entire world. So people again need to know the strength in numbers and joined all together. So why would we even look at numbers at this point of 1.3 billion, 2.6, or even 4 billion? Why even look at those? Because there is the magic number well before we get there, that GPMS goes viral and it's done in the blink of an eye. So you go from, if you will, when we were speaking about how fast a car goes, from 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye, which is very fast. So at this point, again, yes, those numbers have been put out to show certain things, to show ones how powerful they are, but to also show them how these things affect reality by having these huge numbers. Currently, in the Philippines, we have 160,000 consents, and it's climbing and it's expanding daily. So, what is occurring, the more brothers and sisters there that know about GPMS, they are telling other brothers and sisters, so the consents are coming in very rapidly. However, if I am to take the Philippines with a population, I believe, of 120 million, if I'm to take the Philippines as an example of 120 million, half the size of Nigeria, if the Philippines people gather in the Philippines a majority consent of 60 million, what this does, it means that the people in that country take the lawful ownership of their central banking, and that they, in that country alone, can begin their own disbursement of unlimited wealth. But what this does, because of the wealth of the GPMS dollar, which is superior, the rest of the world cannot compete nor contend with it. It has no choice but to comply. So I need to make this very clear. Any one country of a considerable population that gets the majority voice first causes a chain reaction around Earth as well. So there are so many catalysts that can put this into a rapid fruition. And it needs to be realized again, the power of the people coming together worldwide, no matter race nor creed, to get this done and do the right thing for humanity. It's right at your fingertips. It's right here. You just need to choose it. Everyone.
That was great. That was very good of you. Big brother. I have so many questions here. I don't know whether you will be able to attend to all of this. Big brother, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, brother. Yes, go ahead with your questions and
Before
direct
then, let me
them
ask,
to
let
Renata
me
and
ask
I, please. Thank you.
a question. Big sister, you heard from the horse's mouth. Pro- pro- Probably the GPMS co-creator, he has been able to enumerate the benefit that is attached to GPMS. Now, my question is, as a woman, you have been working with all these men towards making GPMS a reality, in which I asked you in the first question, you've been able to enumerate the feminine work. Now, here in Nigeria, we have over 100 and 200 million individuals, and women are the most populous. Now, in the GPMS world that is yet to come, women will also participate in making the world a better place for all of us to live in. When I asked in the first question, you've been able to enumerate women's role, which I was happy. Now, I want you to add more to the answers that you have already given, because we need more. We need women to also hear this, that GPMS is all inclusive universal system. So here in Nigeria, women are given only 40% of the role to perform in our community. But out there in the Western world, it isn't so. So what message do you have for women here? Because their roles are limited to just 40%. No, there are some certain things a woman cannot do here in Nigeria. So in GPMS, will women also do everything that men will also do? That's my question.
Thank you, Iboro. Actually, Rick just sent me a little message so that I could express the fact that there are actually more feminine guardians than male guardians in GPMS. And although we speak about, divine father, we also say divine father, mother, God. And it speaks to all of our divinity in GPMS, in the concept of the way our father, mother, creator wants her children to have an existence, to have their exploration, is in is not limited to the juxtaposition of another's freedom. So it's not in comparison to freedoms that men have that we are going to look at what freedoms women get. We are looking at an entirely different, higher consciousness concept of humanity. We are human. We have a hue. We have light. We are light beings. Whether we choose to have a masculine or feminine incarnation and exploration is completely by choice. So we should not be defining our freedom in regards to anyone else's. Freedom is freedom. there is no way to compare freedoms. Either you are free or you are not free. It's kind of like being dead. You can't just be a little dead. You're either alive or you're dead. Either you are free or you are not free. So if there is a message to women in particular, it is
Yeah.
to offer your consent, offer your voice. Your voice is more important now, and the voice of your children is more important now than it has ever been in the history of humanity. Your voice, your intention to have a beautiful world for your children, to have a beautiful world for their children, whether they're male children or female children, it doesn't matter. Our children. Children come first. And as responsible ones, as responsible, conscious beings, whether we're masculine or feminine in this expression, again, doesn't really matter. Yes, I'm going to say that female kind has been oppressed on this in this prison paradigm. Yes, very much, and exploited horrifically. There's no question about it. Nobody is going to contest that fact. As much as we have been oppressed, it is now incumbent upon feminine kind to give that consent. Just say, yes, I want a beautiful world for myself and for my children and for my children's children and for all of my family. It's that simple. And when we all put that intention together, there is more power in that. And which is what Brother Rick has been trying to tell us. There is more power in that than anything else, than any oppressive system on in this reality or in any other reality. So to conclude, just say yes. It's that simple. Thank you.
You're welcome, big sister. Now, in Nigeria, let me just add this question. In Nigeria, we are multi-religion country. We have so many religions in Nigeria. We have the Islamic religion, we have Christianity, we have others. In fact, from Christianity, other religion doesn't allow women to actively involve in some certain things in the society. The Islam limited to some certain roles, not allowing the women to participate. So my question is that is GPMS religious affiliated universal financial system that only men will actively involve in it, or is it all inclusive, both for women and men?
Brother Rick.
That was for you, big sister. That was for you, big sister.
I'm speaking much too much here. Thank you.
Mr. Rick, I answered 2 questions.
Okay.
And you also answered your question.
Okay. In my understanding of sorry?
It's like you forgot the question. It's like you have forgotten the question.
No, I haven't forgotten it.
Okay, go ahead and answer.
In my understanding, there is GPMS is completely equal. There will be nothing that is restricted for either gender to do or not to do. In fact, we are not even a structured hierarchical organization. So, for example, if you want to become a representative or a guardian, as even I was surprised, I did not have to ask permission. I gave my intention, my heart, my soul, and notice that I am becoming this. And everyone said, oh, okay, great. Thank you. Come on down. Welcome. So it's not there's no resume to fill out. There's no interview process. This is by consent. We are consenting to assist with this change, this referendum. However you feel in your heart you want to assist, it has nothing to do with gender. And no, GPMS is not a religious organization in any way, shape, or form. It is an aspect of divinity. So however you want to explain divinity to yourself, that's what it is. Is that correct, Brother Rick?
You're welcome.
Okay, I got the thumbs up. Okay, good.
Yeah, I can add later.
Good, thank you.
Now, this question goes to you, big brother, you have been tasked with the Great Commission, along with several others, to go about removing evil and restoring peace upon planet Earth. I want to believe that you have been successful through the process since you were guided by God. Now, according to the scriptures in Revelation, the devil and evil will be bounded forever after rapture and during the Christ millennial reign here on planet Earth. Now, the question here is that should we start looking at that heaven on earth scenario with GPMS in this context now till the coming of Christ?
Yes.
Ask the question
I
again.
believe, yeah, just ask it again, please. A little bit closer to the mic so I can hear you well. Thank you.
Okay. You have been tasked with the Great Commission along with several others to go about removing evil and restoring peace upon planet Earth. I want to believe that you have been successful throughout the process since you were guided by God. According to the scriptures in Revelation, the devil and evil will only be bounded forever after rapture and during the Christ millennial reign on planet Earth. The question here is that should we start looking at that even on earth scenario with GPMS in this context now till the coming of Christ?
The answer is to that is yes, and it's yes in all belief, all prophecy. It does not matter what it is. There is the Savior concept that is written throughout antiquity, again through all major belief systems, faiths, and prophecy. So, having said that, does it really matter if it's a Christ, if it's a Buddha, if it's a Kali Satya? Uh, It doesn't really matter. It is all the same thing. And with GPMS, it doesn't discriminate between, as I said before, religion or faith, because it has already been written in everything upon the planet to take humanity to that new world, whatever it may be, Eureka, Utopia, heaven on earth. It is all the same thing. So it is occurring now. When you mention about the rapture, yes, we are in the rapture. What the rapture means and what it is an upliftment. And what's occurring worldwide now is the super consciousness is evolving within humanity. So it's a sudden upliftment and consciousness and morality, what is occurring, which is the rapture towards what you can call the Christhood, a being like Christ to do good for everyone worldwide. Love thy neighbor. No more fighting. Do not kill. None of these old things are going to exist in this new. So yes, this is the rapture. This is what is written in Revelation. However, what I will say, Revelation is not entirely correct, because what occurs with GPMS.world, it delivers everyone into heaven on earth. There is no fall 1,000 years later. This is it. Once you're up, this is hell here. Ones need to realize, with all of the truth that has been put on earth, it also was manipulated to a degree. But that doesn't matter in this great time. Each one takes the moral choice within you. Each human soul knows what is right to do. And I love Brother Lee's saying what he said one time: before any of you or most of the people on earth, before you go into someone's house, it is not written on the door how you should behave. It is written in your heart. You already know this, to go in, to be kind and respectful. So, having said this, it doesn't need to be written how ones will behave. You already know this. This is your inherent, God given moral rights and behavior. You already have it instilled within you, it is a part of you. So, in whatever way, shape, and form, with any religion worldwide, the foundation of any religion and belief are the core moral values. So everyone has these, and that's all you need to focus on and keep in your most highest purity and virtue, so that you're not morally corrupted. Because when ones become morally corrupt, then they are bought from this by this evil system. And that was part of the problem upon earth. But yes, again, this time has been prophesied. This is the rapture. You're in it. You are being raptured into the new world. So if you wish to use that, yes. This is a Christ instrument. This is a Buddha instrument. GPMS is an all faith, all belief, all prophecy instrument. That's why it's all inclusive as well. It's what everyone wants. If you were to go around the world, or if you were to go in Nigeria and take a poll of all your brothers and sisters, and if you were to ask them, do you want a loving, peaceful, abundant world? The majority are going to say yes. And here's your majority for GPMS, because the poll is going to be the same worldwide. All are going to want that. All are wanting it. And again, that's why GPMS is inevitable. Whatever beliefs ones have now, they may change along the way to know that God is very real and what is being delivered. And that is fine. No one is pressuring anyone to change their beliefs. We just want all to come together to do what is right with this one common goal and take humanity forever out of the suffering and the lack. It is ridiculous. It is preposterous. It is unacceptable that over 30,000 a day are dying of hunger in a world that produces more food, enough food to feed perhaps 10 times the world's population. That is insanity. That is savagery. It is unacceptable. So, with this, all religions, faiths, and beliefs have to come together to do what is right. And with this, what I will say, one of the main problems is the churches upon the planet. They have sold their souls to the capitalist system. So they have to go right now through a form of redemption and do what is right. And they have to also support GPMS.world, because it is God's will. There is no choice for any upon the planet, including the churches, to continue to support a world of suffering and harm when God's world is here of do no harm. It's at the fingertips. It becomes a moral obligation, and more so of every pastor, reverend, and priest, and man of the cloth, man of the word of God, to make this choice and also proclaim it out to his or her congregations. This is the rapture, if that's what you want to know. Yes, it is.
Can I
Thank
add
you.
something?
Yes,
May
Mrs.
I add something? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Rick. Thank you, Brother Iboro. I wanted to add, we're talking about making choices here. We're talking about asking people to choose what they're morally uh, impulsed to choose. I believe many are so terribly downtrodden and so are have lost hope and belief and their faith that something can change. The first step to knowing what you want is knowing what you don't want anymore. So if, as Brother Rick was saying, if you went from door to door and you asked everybody, okay, do you want a beautiful world where there's, yes, they'll say, yeah, but are they going to believe it? Are they going to have faith in it yet? Many are so downtrodden and so have lost hope that it's possible. Well, let me tell you, it is possible. If anything, the voices of already hundreds of thousands saying yes has already shifted us into hope on the planet. If you go door to door and you ask people, do you like letting your sons go to war? Do you like having to work 70, 80 hours a week just to survive? Do you like being poisoned in the environment? Do you like your food being tampered with? Do you like the fact that 30,000 children a day are dying of starvation? Only a psychopath would say yes. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people who like suffering on this planet, and they are propagating it on others. However, that voice is nothing next to the voice of those whose faith becomes renewed, believe in what is possible again. Please, that is my request. If you believe in what is possible again, and that you believe that humanity can stand up and make a change, then that is the intention that you bring forward. Just saying, yeah, okay. No, that's not it. It's the intention that you have your hope restored. If I have a prayer in my heart right now, I pray that everyone who has lost hope, that their hope is restored divinely, so that they can see that this is a very real opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks a million. You are all saying the truth here. Because in 2015, I have a perfect revelation about Gpms. God took me up there to heaven, and I spent 5 minutes up there. He showed me all the beautiful places up there. He showed me all the beautiful treasures in store for us here on planet Earth. And that was when I realized that GPMS is inevitable for us all on planet Earth. Now, this question goes to you, big sister.
Oh no, not again. I'm talking too much.
If I may, brother, just before you ask Sister Renata the next question, because I didn't answer it in your last question. You asked if evil was defeated, I believe, upon earth. Yes, for the very reason we're here tonight and GPMS exists, this is an indicator that the evil has been beaten and they have no power. For you would not see the new heaven on earth system on earth now being created if the evil had not been beaten. And what this does with the majority, when the majority agrees with the new world, the evil is totally eradicated. So, yes, we are in this process now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the contribution. Now, big sister, this question goes to you. Since I brought GPMS as a forerunner to the south part of the country, Nigeria, few have embraced and accepted it, while others have had a different perception about it. Some said it will lead to one world order, and etc. I have suffered humiliation even more than John the Baptist. A lot of people have seen me as a fraud. scam and one involving secrecy with GPMS. Now, big sister, what message of correction do you have for these individuals who are out there viewing us? Permit me to use the word myopic and charlatan to quantify their ignorance because they do not know what they are doing. Now, what message of correction do you have to these individuals? Because they don't know what GPMS is all about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the words of a very special prophet, Yeshua, who said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." So when someone is speaking to you in pejorative terms, when someone is calling you a scammer, etc., they are telling you that they are lost in their belief system. They are telling you that they're scared. They're telling you that they lack the courage to move forward with conviction in their hearts. They are telling you that you are intimidating them with your light, with your truth. They are telling you that whatever negative entities or energies dwelling within them are very uncomfortable in your presence because you are bringing the truth and you are bringing the light. And so when this happens, brother, I know you being the magnanimous, conscious, and extraordinary being of light that you are, that you will shine your light of compassion on them and pray for their return to having hope in their hearts once again. These are the hopeless. These are the ones I spoke of, the ones who have lost their way. So, like every good shepherd, as you are for Nigeria, and we stand 100% behind you and support you. And if anyone has any question as to your authenticity or intention, let it be hereby dispelled by myself and by Brother Rick. And we too pray for them and for their return to a state of hope and openness going forward so we can make the world a better place for everyone. Thank you.
You know, at some point, a lot are afraid of me.
Sorry?
I involved.
What did you say?
At some point, can you hear me?
Yeah.
At some point, a lot in my local government and vicinity are afraid of me.
They're
I
afraid of
don't know
you.
what they are afraid of GPMS and me as its forerunner.
Good. And so they should be. Brother Rick?
Yeah, this is excellent, Iboro. You know, may I? May I? Yes, yes. They're in great fear because any that is still evil, they are the most afraid at any time ever, right in this now. And their actions are the more fear they go into, the more desperate they become, and their actions more revealing that exposes the actual evil more and more. And it makes it easier for us. You know what I suggest, what you're doing as we do with GPMS. If someone rejects it, don't even bother wasting energy there because, as Sister Renata said, they're not ready yet. We put our focus on those that have had enough suffering, that are ready for the new world. And as I said, if we were to go worldwide now with an open poll, you'd see 90% of the population have had enough. So when you do meet some of these, that is fine. Don't exert energy on it. 2,000 years ago, a father told Jesus that people love evil. That was the problem. However, yet today, what we are seeing, people are still loving evil, the old system. However, we are in transitioning because they are becoming more sick of the evil every day and they are making choices. Enough is enough. So we are in this great time. And, with this, I need to say that no one has any sin upon the earth other than the extreme evil theirself. And the reason why no one has any sin is because they were tricked and forced and manipulated by the system into stealing, adultery, what have you. But in actuality, where they were tricked, they did not really do it on their own accord. They were pressured by the trickery of the system. The sin is not theirs. No one has any sin. And in the moment, if you will, one can redeem theirself by making the rapid amends and doing what is right. So no one is anchored nor confined by their sins with this. And I know this fully. If one is a soul, you go forward. If one is an evil or a minion that is a man made by man, which is clones and other artificial humanoid constructs, they stay behind. But any that has a soul goes forward, and that's around 6 billion or more on Earth at this time. The war is already won between the light and the darkness. If the war was not already done, you wouldn't see GPMS here now. This is an indication that the leagues of heaven have won, and we're taking this rapid transitioning for humanity through to the new world. So again, the war is actually over. We don't need to put our focus on what they do. We put our focus on what we do because we are the majority. Don't be distracted by what they do. They're in great fear with all of their attempts. We keep gathering all of those souls that want the new world. And this is what's occurring because we are the majority on earth. Thank you.
You're welcome, big brother. Your contribution was perfect. Now, this question goes to your big sister as a round of one. This is your last question for
Okay,
the
good.
interview.
Okay, go ahead.
We heard it all from the horse's mouth
Okay.
regarding GPMS and what it is aiming at achieving, but yet to come. GPMS is yet to come, but it will surely come, owing to several of revelations and visions that I have been saying in the past. Now, this question goes to you, big sister, as man of one. What message of assurance and hope do you have for the world that GPMS was actually that long awaited divine driving force and financial system to rescue humanity on planet Earth?
Thank you. Well, my response would have to be twofold. First of all, my complete resonance with Brother Rick and Brother Lee in terms of whenever I hear them speak, from the first sentences that I heard Brother Rick utter, through the years now that I have been working with them, the integrity, the purity, the divinity of the message is present 100% and goes right through me every time I hear it. Number two, you said that GPMS doesn't exist yet. Well, you know what? If you want to create a reality, you have to believe it to see it, not see it to believe it. That is a construct that was imposed upon humanity that is one of the biggest hindrances to our evolution. Everybody says, well, show me, then I'll believe it, right? Actually, it's the opposite. When you believe something, you will step into it. You create it. You have to believe it to create it. And there is beautiful Sister Femke coming out. Hi. So,
You're welcome.
thank you. So the truth is, it already exists, like Brother Rick said. It is here. It is proof that evil has been vanquished. We would not be having this conversation. This reality would not exist this far if it had not already been brought into reality by the intention of so many. So the next step is to step fully into the reality that is the divinity of existence, the natural way of love, the natural way of life. That has been taken away from us. So we are stepping back into what we have always believed in, the reality that exists within our hearts that was taken away, the right to live a natural life without interference, without being used in any way, shape, or form, in complete freedom and love with our fellow brothers and sisters. It's that simple. So, two things to recap: the integrity of this movement and of its founding fathers, Father, Creator, Father, Mother, Creator, God, and the understanding that you have to believe it to create it and not the other way around. Thank you.
You're welcome, big sister. Because right there in the inside of me, the conviction within me is that GPMS is real and inevitable. It will surely come. Now, this question goes to Big Brother viewers before we run it up for today. Now, this question goes to you, Big Brother. Now, in the last interview segment, you interview Big Brother viewers, in which I was able to go through the interview. It was perfectly directed towards rescue humanity, and I like the interview very well. Now, you as a co-creator and founding father of GPMS, can you enumerate in detail, telling the world what GPMS will do in the said heaven on earth scenario, comfort and abundance that is yet to come? It's pardon me with my English because I'm learning it. is our lingua franca in Nigeria. So I'm learning English here.
You're doing a great job, brother.
Yes, you
Thank
are.
you.
Great job.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, I believe I've heard the question. Before I answer that question, I just wish to quickly reiterate a little bit of my education upon Earth. And what that involved was going into um, the depths, right into the core of the dynamics of the present system, to know that it's corrupt at its core, and to be able to speak to any part of it during its destruction if I needed to. So I am fully and well versed in all law and all finance as well. So I just needed to put that out there so ones know that the GPMS table and myself are fully informed on how everything works worldwide. And having said this, I needed to be as well so that we can construct the new world. So this is not a sloppy thing. It's actually a brilliant, ingenious um, complement, if you will, to what we are doing with GPMS.world. So even though I myself could take and could do GPMS.world for the world, also could a 12-year-old child, because what GPMS is, again, it comes from the heart and doing what is right for all of humanity. So it's an easy thing to do. Now, how it will work is so easy with this as well. What what will occur as the majority lawfully takes the rightful control of the internet and the world financial routing system, which means in Nigeria, you go to the store, you have a card or what have you have end to end paymasters, if you will. What this means, all of the current infrastructure is already here upon Earth to do GPMS. It is just the ownership, the lawful technical ownership through the ratification by the majority shareholders. It's what takes ownership of all this existing infrastructure. So then we have the financial routing system, which is more than adequate enough to disperse funds everywhere worldwide. And where it cannot, right at the moment, you also have GPMS missionaries, once it's implemented, for example, to go into a remote village and say, what do you wish? What do you want? What do you need? And that missionary has direct access to all of the free resources for whatever they wish, as an example. Now, to access the funds, if you will, not only does, and this is an important factor as well. So during the course of humanity uh, taking the lawful, rightful ownership of all the public infrastructure that includes the internet worldwide and the financial routing system, at the same time, the material physical printing presses that are owned by every central government also becomes the people's, meaning that if the people choose to print money as well, they can to be part of this. So what this also means is that no one is at the direct mercy of a worldwide internet with a digital currency. Digital currency is the common sense way to advance humanity. However, digital currency has to be in the proper hands and out of the evil hands that diminishes it and causes harm and conflict to humanity. So, having said this, um, where are we going? How is it going to work? Well, it's going to be a flash, if you will, upon getting the majority vote up here. As soon as we have that, within about a week, I would say, or even less, funds are going to begin to be distributed worldwide to all of those that have registered with GPMS, but not limited to, because once you get the majority voice of, let's say at this time, 4.1 billion, it's instantaneously it's going to go to 6 or 7 billion. So there is not the question of who it goes to. At that time, it's going to be going to everyone instantaneously, and rightfully so, because the reason why we're using money, so we've flipped the tables on the money exchangers, if you will. So instead of the few money exchangers controlling the money, we have flipped the tables, and the people are now controlling all of the money and the resources. And this is their emancipation, this is their freedom, this is their jubilee, this is their everything they always wanted. So upon implementation, and even before we get there, we are already organizing, let's say in every country, administrators that are able to quickly and efficiently distribute the monies in their countries. You are one, Iboro, for Nigeria, and you know with your good heart what we do. So, with the financial routing system, as we collect the voice, we are collecting IT specialists and software programmers that very quickly all the encryption codes in the existing financial system today, there are encryption codes and gates that are put there to backdoor ledgers for the banks and governments, because there's actually two sets of books worldwide. There's one set of books for the elite in the nefarious evil, and there is another set of books that they show the public, if you will. So they have all these backdoor encryption gates, but we don't care about that. What we do is we go into the financial routing system and we take out all of the gates, all of the encryption codes, because we can just it you can do it. I don't need to go into detail how you do it, but very quickly you do it in a matter of a few days or less than a week. Then what you have, the financial system is all set up and connected to disperse funds everywhere, all over the earth. So there is not a complication with that. Now, ideally, yes, it does go faster. You have Google, you have HBM that has two super computers, which you call quantum, but those are not the only computers. Those are the only two advanced ones that humanity knows about. There is actually a bigger one, but even we don't even need that. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is that also, as we collect the voice, what's happening organically, as what Sister Renata said with the community website, we are gathering the connections to all of the resources for healing modalities, techniques, growing techniques, horticulture. All of these things, all of the technology that is beneficial and essential for humanity. So, as we collect the voice, we are bringing in ones that are connected to all this. Even free energy, we already have some now that are already coming into GPMS that know how to make the free energy devices, but because of this old world, they don't have the money to do it because it's suppressed yet. But we have the technology already to do this and much more. So instantly in the new world, everyone is happy. They have their instant money of approximate $20,000 that is given to every child, woman, and man worldwide. And that $20,000, what that is to do is to put everyone in an immediate, instant place of comfort, to take them fully out of lack. Then once they're fully out of lack, we already have the worldwide community where everyone knows what is going on and know that they are responsible in the least to keep the essential logistics of goods and services for the world still operating. So in this logistics, you'll have, let's say, a truck driver, but he's now receiving his money, but he knows that he has a service to humanity, to the whole community. And so what he will do, if you will, there are no more wages in this new world. He only has to contribute a fraction of hours to the worldwide community to fulfill his obligation, his responsibility to the worldwide community. He only needs him or her, they only need to work a fraction of an hour, of a certain amount of hours to what they worked before. Now, some of the reasoning for this also is what you have your world's current, in this old world, the current biggest employer is the financial sector worldwide, which employs 1.3 billion. So that means right at this time, there's 1.3 billion that are able to work. But with the new financial system of GPMS, it could operate on less than 1,000 very quickly and efficiently. And you could also have it to operate with one because it's just a disbursement of funds, a 12-year-old child. So what this means, you no longer these 1.3 billion employees now are free to assist in the other essential goods and services worldwide. Maybe it's some administration to assist where the funds need to go. Perhaps it's a little bit helping with some technology with farming or whatever. But these 1.3 billion that were working 40, 60, 70 hours a week that are souls, they now only have to work maybe 10 hours a week. And that 10 hours of work would be attributed to the essential goods and services for the worldwide community. So that's your biggest employer. Your next biggest employer of the old system is the governments, but the militaries and police forces and civil servants. This is your next biggest employer, which I think is around 1.1 billion. We no longer need all these bureaucracies, government levels, license fees, because none of that exists up here. So we no longer need these jobs. And definitely with military, there is absolute peace on earth. You no longer need all these military. So with that, you now have over a 2 billion workforce that's able to come in to assist with the essential goods and services at growing food and advancing technology. But because of that, ones already that are farming no longer need to put in long hours. They may only put in a couple hours a week. So you can see very quickly why worldwide, with the existing workforce and in many frivolous jobs like marketing and online, all of these things are frivolous and they're no longer needed. So what you have is a huge workforce to share and the essentials and the R&D, research and development, if you will, to advance humanity forward. Now, you will also have what will be ramped up is the manufacturing capacity of the planet with technology and robotics to assist humanity. So you will have some that will go in and perhaps want to put hours in there because there is the one condition on GPMS.world, and there is a minimal amount of hours that one needs to contribute to the worldwide community. But the beauty of this is when we began, where they needed to work, let's say, 160 hours a month, now they only may need to work 40 or even 30 hours a month. What this does, this extra time and their life and their freedom given back, they're able to put towards their families if they have, or doing things they wish to do. So the family units that were all destroyed and distorted now come back together the way they should be and built on love, trust, and harmony as well. Now, at the same time, with this new system, it cannot be corrupted. No one can be bought. And the reason why no one can be bought is because they are the generator of their own value and their own money out into a community worldwide. What this does, it eliminates all white collar crime or all crime really, because when no one can be bought by another, that means they cannot be intimidated or bought into harming others. The present system is designed like that. That and that's the way the darkness wanted it. That's why the darkness only wanted a few controlling the money so that they could control the rest of humanity and buy ones off or intimidate them if they needed to in the past. But this is all erased. You are not having any crime up here in the new world because no one can be bought by money any longer because each one are their own full source of value, and it's done equally and it's shared among all. So you have access to what also occurs before the implementation of GPMS.world. There is a price index freeze worldwide to stop any increases of pricing. And this is important. It doesn't matter because if prices keep escalating with inflation from the old economy, it doesn't matter because with GPMS at the implementation time, if it takes 30,000 for each child, woman, and man upon implementation, we just give them 30,000 to erase any effects immediately. So we have 20,000 now as a figurative number. It could be more. It's whatever it needed is needed in the time to place every child, woman, and man into comfort, not a basic income, into comfort, which is over and above that. They are in freedom, they are stress free. So, all of your utilities, as I mentioned, electric, we own it. You don't pay utilities any longer. You don't pay for internet. You don't pay for phone service. You don't pay for electric. You don't pay for water. You don't pay for anything any longer. Yes, there is the small inventory, if you will, with some of the fossil fuels that the inventory right at the time of implementation, this debt has to be settled. So shortly after implementation, you may be paying, let's say if you're paying $4 a gallon for fuel now, immediately upon implementation, you would be paying perhaps $2 or $1.50 a gallon, and perhaps a few weeks later, you will be paying nothing for it because the old inventory will be bought off and that debt settled. But the reason why the price, let's say, of gas would go instantly from $4 to about $1.50 is because the government has all of the tax on it. You are not paying the true cost price of the fuel. So what happens is all the retail markup and taxes come off of it because you are no longer paying taxes of any sort, any form to governments. So therefore, instantly, all of your prices drop. The same as with any most foods are tax free. However, there are hidden costs that they put in there as well. But what you see with all of your foods upon implementation, they began also to become very quickly uh, less less expensive, and even began some will become free because you're going to be at the same time opening up worldwide trade. And where there's any surplus, it's going to be distributed wherever it needs to go, and it will be. So when you look at, we have the inventory of existing, let's say, appliances. Everyone would like to have perhaps a dishwasher or what have you. But rightfully so, in this old world, someone has some lawful wealth that is in that, and it has to be realized in this new world. So if you have, let's say, a store that sells dishwashers, if they have 10 there, they have to be paid for them. So GPMS accommodates that they're paid for the old stock. But after they're paid for their old inventory, that store then brings in 10 dishwashers that are now free for whoever needs them. And they're free because all of the manufacturing capacity, because we own everything, it's all free. So then it's given and it's shared. And what we do is we ramp up the production of all of these beneficial necessities, not even necessities, beneficial comfort items for humanity, if you will. But it doesn't go crazy. Everything is kept in check. What we're also looking at here is worldwide. The world needs to be cleaned up of all of the garbage, especially the petrocarbons that's in the plastic thrown everywhere. So, upon implementation, where everyone receives their money in a city, what you're going to have is ideally a day we say, all right, everyone, go out, clean up the ground, and get all of this garbage, if you will, gathered up. Then there's going to be the proper disposal systems and containment fields and recycling facilities to get this done. Everyone needs to realize that upon the implementation, money is no longer a restrictive factor. It is no longer an obstacle in whatever form of economics you wish to call the implementation of GPMS.world. This means that you have all of the reasonable access to resources to clean Earth up quickly. And if you don't, what we have at that time is the manufacturing capacity will be ramping up and creating these proper recycling tools, whatever you may need, and proper containment fields so that we clean the planet Earth up. Also, at the same time, what you are going to be having is, if desired and wanted, all of your desert land in countries, in your deserts and your rock areas, I think comprise about 21% of the ground area of Earth. All of these can be made into oases because below the surface of every desert, there are aquifers of water, which means these uninhabitable before deserts can become oases. Also, your climate is changing to facilitate this. Your northern areas of in the northern hemisphere of two of the biggest land masses, Canada and Russia, are now becoming more inhabitable. But this is by divine design to allow for some disbursement of humanity. There are some places that are overcrowded. So we allow for, upon Earth, if you will, people to space out a little bit, but not at the same time, we are also opening the technology not only to interstellar, which I mean, when I speak about the interstellar technology, that is speaking about time travel and things within this dimension in this universe, meaning that humanity is not the only life form in this universe. There are other beings. And quickly, for anyone, when we go back to Jesus and when he was on Mount Hermon, when a couple of the other apostles got scared when they saw the light and the ship come, these are benevolent beings. We are not alone here. And again, without getting into that long story, the reason I brought it up is because there's many new technologies that are going to be delivered instantly to Earth as well. And with this, what we already have is, which is primitive, is 3D printers, which are capable, and that's primitive technology to what is on Earth now. But these 3D printers have been printing several houses a day in China, if you will. So you can see how quick, with organic materials, that things will be created as well. So it's just, I could go on and on, but the list is just so lengthy, and everyone has everything, has access to it. If you take Nigeria, you have an administration hub that just takes care of, with a few volunteers in there, saying to the people, all right, what do we need? So the people will tell the administration hub, maybe we need 2 drill rigs in this area to get some wells drilled. So this administration hub in Nigeria, they have a worldwide index of resources. They access it and say, okay, can we get 2 drill rigs here? So they will do the logistics to get the drill rigs in. And they'll also ensure and process, there will be the software to process the one's contributions so they receive their next month's money as well. So you don't really want it on a full honor roll, but it may be a full honor roll. But what I'm saying, if it's not a full honor roll, we still have the know-how and the provisions to make it work. So we don't even need to speak about that at this point. Everything works. You have everyone working together, and by collecting the majority of humanity, you have created the world's biggest think tank of professions and skills ever known to advance humanity forward. Therefore, you have all of the solutions. The technology is out there to restore very quickly Mother Earth, the planet, with your water, the ultra blue, ultraviolet violet light very quickly purifies water. But there's other advanced technologies even beyond that. But the reason I bring up the ultra blue is because of the human waste management. This right now is that successful that it can purify the water from sewage into almost drinkable water very quickly. but that is primitive technology as well. There are better things there, and we need to have the planet Earth cleaned up. So what you also have, and I love using Alberta, if you will, for this example, because of all of the old fossil fuel exploration, all of the fracking, all of the pesticides and herbicides that farmers had used, and also the waste management system was not ideal. What you have is a lot of mercury from LED lights, if you will, because they did not have the proper containment areas, has leaked into the groundwater all over the southern part of Alberta. It has become, if you will, the drinking water, even though they'll say it's drinkable, it's really not drinkable. These things need to be cleaned up, and they will very quickly. And I hope it's not by a lot of floods, if you will, but it will be cleaned up, and there are the devices to do it. Now, also with fossil fuels, yes, we are quickly will use up what is here, but there is higher technology already here that you don't need to use any of that any longer. You also do not need to mine nor excavate any minerals upon Earth. What you also need to realize that we are going to be going into a huge recycling with uh, any of the military equipment that will no longer benefit humanity, meaning all things of war and artillery. This is made out of the best prime metal. This stuff will be melted down to put in to robotics or other things. Gold will be nothing more than a conductor for electronics. It's a very good conductor as well as platinum and silver. It will no longer have any value other than perhaps a pretty keepsake or something that is used in technology. And gold and silver, these precious metals, are not needed to fund or operate an economy any longer because the real source of value has been given back to its origin, which is all of us. Gold, silver, nothing would have value if it didn't come from us and we accept and realize that value. But in this important time, what we are doing is we are realizing that full realization that we are the absolute source of value and that it's absolute foolishness and it's harming so many people to think that gold or silver or something outside of ourselves is more valuable. You take in Uganda, when a little child had, I believe, malaria or whatever, she went to the hospital there, and I believe she did die because they kind of refused to treat her unless they had money first. That is sick and pathetic. But that has what has, occurred with the world. But there's no more of that because we are the value. So we eradicate all of that insanity. Thank you for allowing me to ramble.
That was great. I want to believe God was speaking through you. You were elaborate in analyzing GPMS. And I want to believe this will go a long way by enlightening my people and bringing them to the limelight of knowing what GPMS will do in the nearest future. I have so many questions here to ask, but because of our time, I will not go further. Big sister, I hope you are there. Hello, big sister, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
You will answer one question before we go.
Oh boy. Okay. Go ahead.
Now, GPMS, as we all know, will happen in phases. Am I right?
Will happen in phases, you said.
In phases, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? It will happen in phases.
From what I understand, yes. But ultimately,
There's
it
one,
is.
two,
Sorry.
just like hello, hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We learned that GPMS will happen in phases.
Mm-hmm.
Can you quickly enumerate those phases?
Oh,
Tell us, you know,
you know what?
example,
All of that is very clearly explained on the gpms.world website.
the
It's
first phase
for
is collection
everything.
of concepts.
Yeah, it's all there for people to read. I think the most important thing that we can do right now is to ask people to go to gpms.world and have a look. And if they have any difficulty with translation or accessing, I'm sure they will talk to you, brother, and you will provide some sort of a solution for them so that they can go to the website. It's really all there. And the most important thing is just to bring the voice, to give the consent. Please go to the website, educate yourself further, ask questions if you need to. I think Brother Rick has been extremely generous with his time and with his explanations to date, to so far today, and in general. And on the community website, gpmscommunity.com, there are literally hundreds of videos now, all in one place, not only just from Brother Rick, but Brother Lee and other representatives and guardians of GPMS. It's all there. So uh, ultimately, as I said before, you have to believe it to see it. So whatever you need to do to believe it, all that information is there for you. You just go for it. Brother, I see Brother Rick has his hand up.
Thank
This
you.
point
May
in
I
time,
just quickly, yeah, may I just quickly summarize? We're currently in
yes, please.
phase one, and in yeah, phase one is collecting the majority voice. But what occurs organically while we're collecting the majority voice, we are also connecting more of the organization and having more of a structure at the same time because we're bringing in the skill sets. So much work is done organically by itself that we don't need to put fingertip to it. So phase one typically is gathering the majority voice. Phase two is the implementation, all of the structuring, because at that time at phase two, we already have many administrators in the skill sets. So we just connected all to facilitate the logistics for the world with the new monetary system. And phase two can also be looked at the emergence of humanity more into the advanced civilized state of phase three, where there is no money needed at all and everything is advanced. So I can keep it that simple, if you will, and it's easy to understand. Yes, it is the full fledged long term plan for the heaven on earth, all inclusive for everyone. So it's all there. Phase one first, that's what we focus on. Who wants it? The majority? All right, let's gather their consents and their voice and let's get it done. I for one would not be sitting here if I didn't know how to do this. And getting back to what I said before, anyone in their heart has all the answers and would know how to do it. It's not complicated at all. It's just this world complicated it to confuse ones and to turn them into robotic slaves. So it's so easy when you do the right things to organize and to have it running proficiently, above efficiently, a new world that is for everyone. So thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, big brother. You have been able to analyze in detail, and I want to believe God was speaking through you. The essence of me organizing this interview was to enlighten my people the more about GPMS. At this juncture, we will call it a day until I have another important topic or topical issues to discuss regarding GPMS. Have a nice day ahead. A good night.
Thank you
Love,
so much.
light, and gratitude, brother.
Love,
Thank
light,
you.
gratitude, brother. Thank you so
And
much for all you do.
thank you,
Goodbye.
Sister Renata, for hosting this meeting. And we'll have this recording and at your disposal as well as soon as possible. But that depends upon Renata Iboro. So, yeah. And then you can distribute this as well. Yeah.
Straight away. Straight away. And thank you so much.
Goodbye.
So be it,
Goodbye.
and so it is. Bye.
So, love, light, and gratitude. Bye,
Love, light, and
everyone.
gratitude. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.